All right, everybody, welcome to another episode of Locked on Avalanche, and not much to like from this Stanley Cup rematch. Entirely one-sided on the side of the Tampa Bay Lightning, a 5-0 thumping. We'll talk about it because that's our job, but yeah, this is a tough one to digest for the Avs. New episode of Locked on Avalanche coming at you.
You're Locked On Avalanche, your daily podcast on the Colorado Avalanche. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
All right, everybody, welcome to another episode of Locked On Avalanche. We are part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day. Thank you for making this your first listen of the day. That's always appreciated. You can follow us on our social media outlets, LOPN_Avalanche on Twitter, Locked On Avalanche on Instagram. Questions, comments, concerns, and opinions to lockedonavalanche@gmail.com, and follow us on our YouTube channel over on YouTube, where we are live right now. We're going to be starting to maybe do this just after game day. When games are complete, we're going to stream live to our YouTube channel. So if you're watching on YouTube right now, hello. If you're watching later on, hello as well. So not a good day or good night for the Avalanche. This thing got out of hand pretty quickly. And I think a lot of people were looking forward to this as, the Stanley Cup rematch. The first time they've been back in Tampa since, the Stanley Cup win on national television on ESPN. And the Avs just dropped a bomb. Like, they got a bomb dropped on them, I guess I should say. So ugly overall, dude. Ugly overall.
Usually we can shine these turds just a little bit.
Yeah.
There's usually like one thing we can be at least like Nathan McKinnon, he scored this, or boy, Georgiev did this. There was not one good thing the Avalanche pulled off. And it was, I had that indication like in the first period where I would like look up at the scoreboard. And I'm like, is Tampa on the power play? We could not get them out of the zone. We couldn't get anything going. And then Cogliano going up and down, and then Erod, who knows what's going on there. It's just more of the same. So buckle up.
I don't know. Like, it was, you're right, man. You can't really pull anything out of this where you're like, okay, well, we can kind of build on something. Like, what are you building on in this game? Hardly anything, man. Like, you had, what'd you get? 30 shots. We'll get into the stats a little bit later, but I think you had 30 shots on net. Okay, that's good. But once again, you are struggling to score goals.
Yeah.
And I said it in our, minute recap that when this team right now gets down by 2 goals, you're like, oh man, this is going to be, a Mount Everest to climb right now. They're just not finding ways to score. And if that's not evident in these past 2 games, that's just a microcosm of what's been happening for the duration of the season. I genuinely did not know that they were 20th in the league in scoring this year. I didn't know, like, it's not something that I looked up. I knew it wasn't good, but I didn't know they were 20th.
Yeah.
That's not like, this team is better than that. And that's been one of the struggles all year long.
And say what you will about the ESPN broadcast, if you like it or not, but they bring up the stats that Riker and Moj are kind enough not to tell us that we were shut out once last year. This is now our 4th or 5th time this year getting shut out. Like,
yeah,
you don't expect that from the Colorado Avalanche. And then when you have this Tampa Bay Lightning team they're sitting pretty, but they lost some embarrassing games, and they knew they were going to be on national TV. The rematch, you heard Corey Perry talking about it. Like, the emotions were high for this one. There is no reason the Avalanche, with everything they've been putting together, could not get up for this game. And you mentioned the shots. Yes, they managed 30 shots, but that first period, there was such a discrepancy in shots. It was abysmal and noticeable to the naked eye.
Well, you had some people on Twitter who was like, well, this sounds like a Tampa broadcast. What are you going to say about the Avs? Like, there was nothing there to get excited about. Of course it did. When a team's up 5-0 and the entire time they're really dominating. Like, what is there good to say about the Avs? So it's going to sound like that. And you know, it's not. I'm not making excuses or anything like that. But you didn't have Cale Makar in this game. Would he have made a difference? No.
No.
As you know, otherworldly as he is, no. Like this is a team wide struggle right now to get really good scoring chances. And we had said it yesterday about how, you know, Tampa was going to be up for this for multiple reasons. One, they had lost 2 in a row, right?
Mm-hmm.
And now, like, you are coming back to where they lost to you for you to win the Stanley Cup. And I said it yesterday, like, Vasilevsky is going to be on point. But I don't think the Avs didn't make it difficult for him at all. I mean, how many shots were right into his logo?
Yeah.
I mean, sure, every once in a while you're going to get a shot that he makes a pretty good save on, but I don't feel like he was making like sprawling saves and just standing on his head. They didn't make him work. You had 30 shots on net, and they just seemed like they were all pedestrian shots on goal and nothing that really made him work for it.
And those shots, like we'll get to the stats in a second and break it down, but a lot of those shots are deceptive because there was a couple times like Erod or Curtis McDermott would be advancing the puck while they're making a shift change, and they just fire it on into Vasilevsky's chest, and he'll knock it off the blocker. And as soon as they get the zone, they feel the weight of what Tampa is doing, and they're just firing whatever they could. Just the old, like how the Avalanche started this season with whatever they get free, they're taking a shot. They were just abysmal in not making the net and getting blocked. And at that moment,
I'm okay with, you know, if you have a shot, take it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You don't want to go back to everything's got to look pretty Colorado Avalanche.
It's true.
If you have a shot, take it. But this is a goalie who is not going to give you juicy rebounds. So it's like you have to mix it up in front of the net. And the Avs just were not doing that. Valnichuskin, to me, has just been invisible these first 2 games back for him. Yeah. He's the guy that needs to do that. And that's part of his game.
He had a pretty goal tonight, though.
What's that?
I said Nuke had that pretty goal go off him when he was trying to clear it off.
Which one was that?
I think that was goal 2 or 3.
No, it wasn't 2, because 2 was the Sammy G one, which we will. Oh yes, we will get to that one in a little bit.
I don't know what you're talking about.
I was on fire tonight with Twitter. Red Flame 36 says, as a Jets fan, I'm still scared to face you guys in the playoffs. You know, I get it. Yeah, I'm sure, you know, some fan bases are, because we have that championship. And, you know, we've been saying it all year long. Like, the Avs just have to get to the playoffs. But it's just like, if the Avs get there, it's not just a slam dunk. They're miraculously just going to turn it on. Like, they have to start playing better.
And see, Red Flame's comment right there. That's what frustrates Avalanche fans the most about games like this. The Avalanche seem to do at least once or twice every season is just lose one so bad. Like, you're on a national broadcast. I know ESPN, like, I'm going to school for sportscasting. They have whole packages waiting in the hopper. They were getting ready to roll out the footage of the Avs winning the cup and all this extra pieces they did on the Avalanche being the champion. And if they're playing that bad, you push it to the side and you focus more on Tampa because they're the hotter thing in the game. And like he said, you're scared to face the team in the playoffs. You should be. And the Avalanche should be winning games like this. It's when they come out and lose, and the broadcast has to mention Nathan McKinnon's scoring's down. Mikko's on pace for most goals in franchise history, but nobody could get anything on the board. That's what's frustrating.
Yeah, and it's frustrating to do it against a team like this. Like, you needed to bounce back too.
Yep.
Yeah, Tampa's going to bounce back because they're on, 2-game losing streak, and I guess they have not lost 3 in a row all year, so they're not going to want to lose 3 in a row. You needed to bounce back because that was a difficult loss that you just experienced in Pittsburgh, and one team showed up. And again, you know, when things are not going the Avalanche way, fine. Like, you're not going to be in control of a game all 60 minutes, game in and game out. But when things are not going your way, it just seems like the Avalanche struggle to turn the tide to get them going their way.
Yep.
And yeah, they've been in control at the beginning of games. Like, we've seen that recently. We're talking about like the third period struggles that they've had. Okay, well, like I guess that's a good problem to have, because that means like you put yourself in a position to where the other team has to press. Okay, but now what are you doing to combat that?
Yeah.
And it's not much. Like you're not getting like your superstars. Like I would need Nathan McKinnon to turn it up and say like, enough of this. Like, yeah, they've tilted the ice for a little bit. I need to take it back. And in this case, it's like you got down early, and as soon as it gets down 2-0, even 3-0, right? If it's 3-0, that's not insurmountable. Feels like it is right now anyway with this team. But like you get down 3-0 and you have that mindset, and I'm sure they do, of like, we just got to get one before the period's over, and then we can build on that. But to get that one is just a struggle right now. It like when things are going well for the Avalanche during a game, they're going well. But as soon as they turn that corner, it's like a whole different game and a whole different team. It's just odd to watch right now. Very odd. So.
It's extremely frustrating to see Nathan McKinnon and his response being just let the stick off the ice and not fire everybody else up, because it's not just a team of one guy. One guy can't win a game. One guy can't lose a game. You all have to do it together, and the Avalanche are just not playing together right now.
You know what the problem is? These helmet ads were 0-1, so get rid of them. If that's how I can get rid of these ads, then that's how I'm going to do it. Because
you remember when we had the alternates, and that was the storyline behind those, when we couldn't win in the Triangle Rockies jersey?
I just don't know why now. Why now are you turning to an ad? And
we're on national TV, baby.
Yeah, that's true. Honestly, maybe this is not a popular opinion. If you are going to have ads, I would rather it be on the jersey. And I know the jersey is like a sacred thing in hockey, but I would just rather have a small little thing up by the shoulder somewhere than these ginormous, ugly looking things on your bucket. I just feel like having team logos on your helmet just look a lot better than just random ads on helmets. That's where I'm at with that.
It's better than, what was it, Power Penguin or whatever the Penguins had? That was embarrassing.
That one, there's just some ugly looking ones. So, and I don't like the Avalanche one at all. So, all right, let's hear from FanDuel, and then more to get to with this game, including stats and my Sammy G. I don't know what you want to call it, but I mean, if you want to say it in defending him, feel free. For this specific play, darn right I am. And we have a sound check to get to as well. So. But first, we're going to hear from FanDuel. And this year, the only app that you need at your Super Bowl party is FanDuel. And we are really excited about our new sports betting partner for Locked On, because they are the #1 sports book in America. And of course, that is FanDuel. And if you're new to it, that's even better. They have so many great features that make betting on sports fun and easy. You can download the FanDuel app now so you can bet on Super Bowl 57 with a no sweat first bet. You'll get up to $3,000 back in bonus bets if your first bet doesn't win. And FanDuel lets you bet on everything from the money line to point spreads to who will score a touchdown to do we know what the time is going to be for the national anthem? Because I'm waiting for that person to have the stopwatch standing outside of the arena while they're rehearsing the national anthem. So we can put a mortgage payment down on that bad boy.
I hear the debate around the first song at halftime. That bet is getting really hot.
What is it going to be? I don't know Rihanna songs, so I'm sorry. You're gonna have to forgive me on that one. So
she has that "Standing Under My Umbrella" song, I think.
Then go with that.
Sure.
There you go. The FanDuel Sportsbook app is safe, secure, and super easy to use. And best of all, you can get paid your winnings instantly. So join FanDuel today at FanDuel.com/locked-on to claim your no sweat first bet on Super Bowl 57. That is FanDuel.com/locked-on. Make every moment more with FanDuel, official sportsbook partner of the NFL. All right, so we're going to talk specifically about one play, and I typically don't do this because social media is what it is, and I know people get super excited, and these keyboard warriors and stuff like that who whatever. I rarely interact with going back and forth with people because people are going to have their opinions, and everybody's entitled to it, and people are entitled to it now. I get it. But this play was the second goal of the game for Tampa, and I just reached my boiling point with the let's blame everything on Sam Girard. That's happening in Avalanche land right now. And if you want, I get it where he's to blame for some things. Everybody in the team is to blame for some things, but it's gotten to the point where if Sam Girard is on the ice and a goal is scored, how can we blame him? Let's dissect like frame by frame and how he's out of position by a millimeter. I know I'm being a little exaggerating here, but that's what it's gotten to. And I'm just so tired of it right now because that play is not Sam Girard's fault. And people want to say he cut off Devon Taves. Like him and Taves are on the same side of the ice. And where the puck is going is where Sam Girard is.
Yep.
What do you want? You want him to peel away from that play. You want him to peel away from that play and leave Devon Taves, who's further behind Cirelli, to catch up to him. That's what you're saying. And then you're saying like that he collided with Taves or he cut off Taves. He's playing defense. He's playing defense. There's a Tampa Bay player right next to him. He's going to defend him. What do you want him to do, people? He is in a no-win situation for a certain demographic of Avalanche fans, and it's embarrassing. It's really embarrassing at this point. I get it. He makes mistakes, and when he does, call him out on it. But when it's something like this, where it's a bang-bang play, you want him to go across the ice and cover a guy that he thought was being covered by Mikko Rantanen, who fell down. So now that's Sam Girard's fault because he didn't make up for the Mikko Rantanen falling and go cover that guy. And Devon Taves didn't have to do that because Taves is trailing the play. Listen to what you're saying, people. Like it's ridiculous. It's absolutely ridiculous.
You remember that scene from the Disney movie Tarzan where Clayton fires his gun and Jane says, Clayton. And then Tarzan thinks the sound of a gunshot is named Clayton. That's what Twitter is right now. Every time a goal is scored, because you watch your feed and it's Girard. And then if he's nowhere to be seen, by the way, Arturi Lehkonen, -3. Mikko, -2.
Yeah.
Sam Girard's a -1, by the way. So he was on the ice for, it's not like the Avalanche are pushing that plus-minus against the Lightning. So, but when he's not on the ice, he's still getting blamed, and then it's a bunch of silence. It doesn't make sense. And I don't understand why you constantly want to go after Sam Girard. If this team would score, we wouldn't be talking about Sam Girard. If they would actually play if the forwards, which we will never talk about, they are protected. We will never criticize a thing they do. We will never criticize Cale Makar. Or we won't criticize Taves for some reason. There's this higher echelon we will never talk about because they are on every piece of Avalanche swag we have. But Sam Girard, we'll go after him. And Eglin, he's ridiculous. No, he has improved. McDermott, he's playing minutes. He's trying. He's taking shots. I don't understand why all this hate for Sam Girard. It's not proving a thing. He's the one thing that you can criticize, and it's baseless. Everybody's making mistakes. If
I don't want to say it's not baseless. I don't want to go that. Like there is some basis to why people want to blame him, but where it's getting is no matter what happens, if he's on the ice when a goal is scored, he's to blame.
Well,
he does make some and he's undersized. He's gonna get bodied. And what I find infuriating now is the guy who's trying to make a play and make a defensive play is getting blamed. And the guy who watched Devon Taves, I love Devon Taves. He's one of my favorite players on the team. He's gliding.
Yeah.
He's not trying to get involved in the play. He's trailing and he's just got his stick out. So the guy who's trying to make something happen on the D is getting blamed because of the name on the back of his jersey.
You remember You remember the days when we used to blame Grubauer or Francois for games like this, 5-0? I can't believe they kept him in this long. It's gone from like, does everybody miss it's a 5-0 game? We let in 5 goals. Nobody's saying a thing about the goalie. It's all Sam Girard. It blows my mind. It's gone from the point of, oh, he missed this and going on to everybody's heaping on Sam Girard, and nobody's talking about goalie play. Nobody's talking about the forwards covering for defense. Nobody's talking about we're about to have the highest paid player in the NHL and he did not score a goal. None of that's being talked about. Sam Girard is the sole reason we lost 5-0 because he was on the ice apparently for every single shift.
It's, and I'm not a Sammy G like defender on every day in and day out. I am not. I think he plays hard, but I think he's in a tough spot because of his size. I think that's a real problem.
Yeah.
But if this doesn't just show you the glaring need to just throw him under the bus for everything, then I don't know what's going to. It's ridiculous. Just the play happened so fast. A lot of things happened at once, and they want him to be perfect during that time period. They want him to be perfect on a play. They want him to be perfect in an imperfect game is exactly what they want. And it's not going to happen. And when everybody else, falls down, makes a mistake, we can explain it away. But when Sam Girard does it, we got to trade him tomorrow.
Yeah, it's the same, like, for everyone that got upset with if I gave like a Devontae's a B- instead of a B+ and saying I'm too harsh, but it's the same people that will say Girard is the problem for everything. You have to look at this team. This is not last year's team. This is not the cup winning team. This is this team right now. And if you look at it, not expecting to win every game, like, you don't know what this team could possibly do. You have to look at this team as a whole and not one individual player. Like, there are multiple facets of this team that are not performing to the expected level. Like, you are expected with this roster, with the amount of money we were paying these players to comprise this roster, you expect them to play at a certain level, and nobody is doing it right now. That's why you walked out of Tampa with a goose egg.
Yeah, I mean, you're not used to this right now. The Avs seem to just always kind of do the right things last year. Of course, you're going to lose games here and there, but they seem to correct mistakes relatively quickly. And we're talking the other night against Pittsburgh, but we're previewing that game, how Pittsburgh is just like this hot and cold team. It's exactly what the Avalanche are right now.
Yep.
They could go out. What's their next game? Saturday
Florida.
Against Florida. They could go out that game and play a flawless game. And we will be sitting here saying, like, that's what we expect. And that's what we know this team can do. And then they could follow it up with another, like, I think we're settling into to ride this wave with the Avalanche for this season. I mean, we're into February. You know what I mean? The only one you're really missing now is Gabe Landeskog. So, and that's a big, it's a big player that you're missing. I get it, but you should not be having the up and down games that you're having, just missing him. I don't know. I'm kind of like, after these past couple of games, I'm kind of just feeling that way. I'm feeling like I'm settling into, it's going to be a sprint to the finish line for this team. And do I think they can make the playoffs? Definitely.
Mm-hmm.
I do. I think they're in a good position to do that. And I will not hit the panic button on any point of this season, but I think we need to kind of accept the fact that this is going to be the season. It's going to be, you don't know what you're going to get. You could get a beautiful gold medal, or it could be the turd that you can't polish, to use Kyle's phrasing. Yeah. And here, thank you. Here's Scott Ingram. There are 31 teams who would love to have Girard on their team. Get over yourselves. Trust Joe. This too will pass. I don't know if it'll pass, Scott, because I think, it's so far ingrained into the heads of people who don't like him. I don't think it'll ever pass. But we said it the other day, if the Avalanche would never waive him, if they were to ever waive him, he would get claimed immediately.
Yep.
Immediately. Is he living up to his $5 million cap hit? No, he's not. and I'm not going to, excuse that part of it. All I'm talking about is this one specific play when it was just scrolling through Twitter. Sammy G's got to be better on that play. How?
Yeah.
How? He can't put on 50 pounds of muscle, instantly. But he tried to body a player. The player was closest to him. And what are you going to do? What else do you want him to do?
And if you lose the game, nobody is playing up to what their contract's worth. If you walk out of there with a 0, if you walk out with an L, the Pittsburgh game, if you lose 2-1 against Pittsburgh, that's not what we're paying you to do. We're here to win the game, defend the cup. If you're not doing that, then we're paying too much. Yeah. So,
all right, let's check out some stats and find out all the ways Sam Girard is to blame for this. Shots on goal, like we said, the Avalanche with 30. I'm okay with that. I'm okay with 30 shots on goal. I'm not okay with the looks that they got. And you're not. I don't have a natural stat trick up, but maybe I will in a second to just see what the heat map looked like, because I'm willing to bet there's not a lot of red right in front of Vasilevsky.
So those 30 shots. 9 were in the first period, 6 in the third.
Really? Wow.
You had 15 in the second, which is apparently our favorite period. The second period, it's Avalanche homecoming, baby.
Which is weird because I was, they always have like the shots on goal up on, by the score bug. And I remember at one point, the Avs were down a lot. And then I looked up once and they had actually taken the shot lead.
Yeah.
I'm like, wow, how'd that happen?
Because Tampa Bay also had 7 shots in the third. Yeah. So the shots went down in the third. But to have 9 in one period and 6 in the final frame.
What's the one stat we always talk about a lot, Kyle?
Lay it on me, my friend.
The funny thing is, so their face-offs. Tampa Bay won the face-off percentage battle, 69%, nice to 31%. Which is, I didn't think it was that out of whack, because early on, how many power plays did the Avs have? They only had 2 power plays. So in those 2 power plays, they were winning face-offs in their own offensive zone, and I was like celebrating that. Like they didn't have that like loss in the offensive zone, and then it gets cleared. You got to go back and get it, and 10 to 12 seconds have come out. Like those are big seconds, and they were winning those face-offs. So everything else sucked when it came to face-offs. So Nathan McKinnon, I think, was best on face-offs tonight. He won 7. He lost 12. Well, I'm lying. I guess Mikko Rantanen technically won 3 face-offs and lost 1. So out of 4, good job, Mikko. JT Compher won 6. He lost 15. And he's our best face-off guy. Alex Newhook won 2 and lost 13.
Oof.
Yeah, I mean, we're not sitting here saying like, face-offs are going to win.
That's the game. Problem. That's
it. Oh yeah, there we go. Fix that, and then why don't we just put Sammy G on face-offs? I don't like. It's just that's just glaring. That's just glaring. And then you had 0 for 2 on the power play, 26 penalty minutes thanks to a couple fights and a Mikko misconduct. You had Jared Bednar. I think he challenged that play after the 3rd goal. I'm fine with it. I was fine with it. I kind of feel like he knew where this game was going, and while it really wasn't even a questionable hand pass, but I think he's looking at it as like, if for some reason this goes my way, then maybe this just invigorates my team. Okay, we got lucky and we got one back. Let's just kick it into high gear. I had no problem with him challenging that, although you knew, like, once you saw the replay, it was not going to get overturned.
I was very iffy with the time of that challenge, because I was like, let's not put us on the kill, because there was no chance. I know he was trying to change the momentum a little bit. The same with McDermottron fighting with 8 seconds left. Like, come on, dude.
Yeah, I know.
Like,
no need for that, but whatever. I don't know, man. Like, this is just not. I always just get excited for Avalanche game days, and when the minutes are so close. I get like settled in, ready to watch some Avs hockey. And then there we go.
Oh, cool.
We're back. Yeah. The third period was just invisible to me.
Yeah.
I mean, I was having conversations with people on Twitter about Sammy G, but
I
didn't miss anything. I So.
I messaged my friend. I was like, why did I have to fall in love with hockey?
All right, let's get to our sound check and let's wrap this bad boy up. We pick 2 songs that summarize the most recent game. Clearly, this is not going to be a good one, but the 5-0 loss to Tampa. These songs go up on a playlist over on Spotify, which you can follow. Just search LOA Soundcheck. This is volume number 2. So what do you got for this one, sir?
One word says it all. And a band with 2 words, but it's 1 word. Seven Dusts. That's a good little throwback tune.
Mm-hmm.
Throwback band too. I've seen them live. They're a vibe. Ugly. That's the name of the song. I mean, I thought about going like a very just lamenting, like very Broadway type sad song, but no, this is an ugly game. And when it hits your playlist, when you pull it up on Spotify, I want you to know this was that Tampa Bay game.
Yeah. One word sums up this game for me too. Well, I'm gonna get what Saki Sam's hurt. Are you talking about the the 9 Inch Nails hurt?
Ooh,
Saki Sam, I believe that's
Lightning Strikes by Aerosmith.
There you go. For me, I'm gonna stick with the Sammy G theme, and I'm gonna go with the band Bastille, and they have a song. Yours is a 1-word title. Mine's a 1-word title. Mine's called Blame. So, and for me, it's not blaming him. It's just this blame factor. That's the blame factory that's going on right now with him is just, it got to me tonight. Like I maybe it was just the game and how out of hand it got. Maybe if the Avs won, I would have just let, the comments simmer again, because that's what's going to happen. Like me interacting with the people I was interacting with, it was very respectable. Was not going to change, how people view Sam Girard. But it was just too much. Tonight it was just too much for that specific play. So, it is what it is. So it's where we're at. So you got a day off, and then hopefully we can get a good Saturday game. Again, we got to salvage at least 1 game on this 3. You got to. So, all right, that'll wrap it up for today, everybody. So thank you for tuning in, making this your first listen, and everybody tuning in live over on YouTube. Appreciate that as well. So we're going to be doing this after game days. Game finishes up, we'll go live, and we didn't like promote it because we just wanted to see how it worked with the system that we have. So seems to be working aces. So tune in for the live broadcast after each game. Thank you, everybody, for tuning in. Really appreciate it. He's Mr. Shaggy Von Doom, Kyle Sullivan. I'm Chris Maselli. This is the Locked On Avalanche podcast, and we'll see you guys later.